The most successful I've ever been selling anything, I was selling something that I have done myself, and I believed it made a difference for me, and now I want it to make a difference for you, period. Hey, welcome to a podcast where dreams meet determination and success is just around the corner. I'm your host, Suzanne Taylor-King, and I'm here to help you unlock the full potential of your business and your life. Welcome to Unlock Your Way with STK. Let's unlock your path to success together. Happy New Year, everyone. It's Suzanne Taylor-King here for another Friday episode of Unlock Your Way with STK. And today, boy, you are in for a really special treat. My friend, my Facebook connection, we've never met in person, but we've known each other for years and have been following each other's content. Paul Gordon, welcome.
Hey, Suze.
So great to see you. I am so excited to bring you to my audience because one of the things I love so much about you is the unscripted, the raw, the real content. And one of the things we've talked about so many times is the over-scriptedness of the guru type, coaches and consultants and offers out there in the world. And you just do you so well, and you teach other people to do that as well. So let's get into it today and really talk about this idea of being yourself and being unscripted and being more natural and vibrant on camera.
Yes, let us do that.
Yeah.
That is practically everything. And I saw a couple comments on, I don't know, I think it was on your LinkedIn thing, and someone was saying, really, what is the art of face dancing? Yeah. And, so we can talk about that, but I want to talk for just a moment because you brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
All of the gurus, Goorooz, the gurus.
I don't like that.
So let's just define what it means to drink the Kool-Aid of the scripted, templated, god-awful crapola.
Yeah.
And let's know for a moment, shall we all, because I'm not talking to Suze, I'm talking to you who's watching this. Okay? Let's just admit. It's okay. You can admit to yourself. Yes, I have heard the scripts and the templates being claimed to work by all of those people out there who make everybody sound exactly like everybody else. And yet, you know the truth. The business world is the only place in the world where we actually pay attention to that shit as if it means something.
I know. And it is shocking to me how many clients I have received over the years who have been in the space before me of $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 programs that were literally a cookie cutter. Everybody was creating the same exact webinar. Everybody was creating the same exact course from a template, from a script, and they never got to talk to the coach. And I just think to myself, wow, I'm so glad I don't believe in that anymore,
Yep. Yeah. There's okay, so when people say, and there's a lot of them out there who say, it's easy, all you do is go out there and be authentic.
Yeah.
And people parrot that.
Yeah.
let's just remember what that actually is code for. That is code for, I don't know how to teach anything about that shit, so I'm just going to pass it off as if it's easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the fact is that it can be learned by anybody. I mean, you were in my, I did these 1 hour, thematic sessions once a week for, I don't know, it was 10 sessions worth. And you were in many of those. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Each of those was riffing on a particular theme.
Yeah.
And it has everything to do with learning all of the separate aspects of what it means to actually deliver like gangbusters.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, just, just go out there and be authentic. And people say, oh, I'll just go out there and be authentic. And most people's authenticity is actually pretty fucking boring.
Yeah. Yeah. Or the hiding behind PowerPoints, and instructional, it's not engaging, it's not conversational. And I'll be the first one to admit I can't hide anything with this face. Like, my facial expressions will give it all away every single time. But that's part of what makes my delivery unique and people feel comfortable with me. And I think it's the same with you, because you're authentic means one thing to me, but I think it's so overused today. You can't force authenticity. Let's talk a little bit about that, because you have a unique perspective on being yourself, but also it's more than that. You have to be speaking to your ideal client. You have to be solving a problem that they need solved. You have to be capable of solving that problem. So there's a lot of layers to just showing up in the world and being authentic. Well, that sounds great. But if you don't have something of value to deliver to those people, how do you show up? I don't understand.
Yeah, well, it's so let's just take a look at it from let's parse what you just mentioned, because there are all these working parts, right?
Yeah.
And so what are they actually? Well, for starters, if you don't know what it is you're actually doing and why you care to do it,
Mm-hmm.
and if you don't, then what are you attempting to do? You're just a
Right.
snake oil salesman.
Right.
So let's go a little bit deeper, because if you don't know who you are and why you say the things you truly believe, then you haven't investigated what it means to actually be a unique individual on this mortal coil, right?
Yeah.
Now, the next thing is knowing what it is that you care about will allow you to unlock what it means for you to offer something that you truly believe in for others, so that they may garner the benefits of what it is you truly believe
Yeah.
and use it to great effect in their own right. Yes?
Yeah.
So now we've touched on the idea of who you are that makes you believe what you believe, so that you can say the types of things that need to be said to solve a particular thing. Okay, do your due diligence to make sure that you can actually train people in something. That's another part. You brought that up, and there are those who don't know how to teach, but most people can be taught to actually disseminate something of value.
Yeah.
But the next thing that I want to, that this stuff points to, because I live, breathe, and research in the realm of what it means to do structured improv of my passionate truths,
Mm-hmm.
Teaching people how to do that requires that they stop trying to, though NLP doesn't have to be used as a bad phrase, I will mention it here because it is designed in the business realm to tickle the manipulative, strategic sales fancies of people.
Right.
And while it has many fine aspects, we can just use that as one of many that people will research and then have their keywords and then try to fashion everything around the strategic manipulative delivery, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, we know when we are being strategized and manipulated.
Mm-hmm.
We all do.
Well, I think, two things that you said. Number one, what stood out was, this idea that you really have to know yourself. You have to be willing to do all of that self discovery analysis, know who you are, know what you believe in before you can go out there into the world and help other people. Like you need to know your energetics, basically, who you are, how you show up, what you like to do, what you don't like to do, what your superpowers are, all of that self-discovery stuff.
Yeah.
But then you also said something really interesting. You have to be able to do it without hook, story, close, or whatever framework, somebody's teaching you to put your thoughts out there.
Right. You have to be able to get out of your own way, say what you truly mean, and speak from the depths of your soul in an unscripted fashion that is not designed to try to convince people of anything.
Right. Right.
If you give them, if you, Suze, are talking to me about what you believe and you want to discuss it with me,
yeah.
As soon as you try to convince me that what you're saying is right, it's like, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
I don't care.
Right.
But if you make it very crystal clear why you believe in what you believe in, and then you explain it to me in such a way that shows me your logical progression, then you have given me the room for me to convince myself.
Yeah.
And when we do that, it is fundamentally different. We're actually respecting people as humans. We are respecting people as individuals and not as a wallet.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
sleep.
Yeah.
Resting comfortably with your honor instead of being a greasy scumbag.
Yeah. And I think what's interesting, and I've said this so many times, and if any of my clients listen to this, they'll recognize this, that the most successful I've ever been with an offer or a program or a workshop or selling anything was when I was selling something that I have done myself and I believed it made a difference for me, and now I want it to make a difference for you.
Yeah.
Period. Every time I've ever tried to follow a framework of creating something or putting something out there with the idea that I'm going to sell this for $1,000 a person, I'm going to sell it to 100 people, never works. Never. And so if that's what authenticity is, being willing to do the work required on yourself first before you go out there in the world and sell it to other people.
Yeah, I come from a world of performance. I've been performing TV shows and stages around the world for a very long time. And so this business aspect of things needs to incorporate certain theatrical principles
Mhm.
people to understand so that they can actually, not think of theater, the theater of delivery
Mhm.
as jazz hands. That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
The truth is that practically everything we see anywhere. I live a 3-minute bike ride from the beach here, and I love it up here, and it's beautiful where we are. Um, and countless times, regularly, I will see, as you will, as all of us will, a slice of reality where it's breathtaking and it's just us, and we might try to take a photo of it, and our phone can't capture the beauty of it, and
Mhm.
we tried, and then you save it as, whatever type of, landscape porn or food porn or whatever type
Yeah.
of stuff you want to call it. And the truth is that you would like to be able to share that concept as a brilliant small encapsulation of a moment. And that, in fact, is in its own way highly theatrical. And what we were trying to do with, any type of business and theater and performance and film and music and poetry and books and writing and all that other stuff, that's also a business. For those who embrace that stuff, that's a business too.
Mhm.
And we when we understand that what we are attracted to when we put down when we close our screen and we stop our business day, the things that we're attracted to are the things that are, unique and honest and truthful and theatrical and emotionally compelling and all of that stuff. That's what we go for.
Yeah, it's entertainment. It's it's more than just, occupying your mind. It's actually, stimulating some sort of thought or emotion,
It's
right?
the breathtaking flourish of life.
Mhm.
And so, because most people in this business space think that presentation comes after they have done some copy paste on scripts and templates,
Uh-huh.
completely misguided and wrong.
Yeah.
Complete. Because developing your ability to get out of your own way and say the shit you really want to say,
Mhm.
that actually is a process that has a biofeedback loop into what you want to say. Saying the shit and learning how to practice it into the camera and on stages and all that stuff, saying it
Mhm.
when it has not been fully thought out
Yeah.
will then will then inform and reinform the content that you have attempted to written or memorize or
Yes. Yes.
some what are those the teleprompter apps. God,
Yeah. But what is the best way to clarify your thought is to practice saying it.
you have to.
You have to. And so many people are unwilling to do that.
I'm not sure that they're unwilling. Here's where I'm going to go out on a limb here and
All right, go ahead. Let's go.
a curveball. I'm not sure that people are unwilling. I just think that for the most part,
Mhm.
they have been sold a bill of goods by lots of people who don't know how to teach them how to deliver well.
Mm.
But they have to sell them something. All those people out there who are saying, here's my scripts and templates and they work, they are saying that because they have to sell you something. So we have been sold a bill of goods that is as much as it needs to be, and it doesn't have to be anymore.
Yeah.
And therefore, people who don't know will buy the concept that I use those scripts and those templates and I copy paste, and then I simply easily and casually bask in the knowledge that I can layer my delivery on afterwards.
Yeah.
And then they're shocked that it's not so easy.
Yes.
But if it's the blind leading the blind, or all the noobs, let's call the noobs fully blind for the moment.
Okay.
They want their eyes opened. And in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. So the less than adequate one-eyed guru saying something that actually is full of crapola will be bought hook, line, and sinker from the people who actually want to eventually have at least one eye.
Yeah. Yeah.
The whole idea is to have both eyes and be
Yes.
fully enlightened about this stuff.
Yes. And I think that place of, becoming aware of the fact that you don't need all of these things that are being sold to you in the entrepreneurial space. This is one of my beliefs, and I'm assuming you share the same one. We'll see. But so many entrepreneurs are sold, okay, I need to have a website and landing pages and a CRM, and I need automation, and I need AI tools, and I need a podcast, and I need a webinar and a video sales letter, and I need a Facebook group that attracts free people. That's why there's 10 million Facebook groups out there to choose from. And all this list of things that supposedly you need to, be a coach in the online space or an entrepreneur in the online space, were only sold to you because that's how that person makes money.
Yeah, right. And I don't ascribe to the premise that anyone should ever say this is the only way to do it.
Correct.
But there are many, many, many out there who have been told that that's what they should do.
Yeah.
And so I'm a little more maybe it's humble, but maybe it's just this ain't my first rodeo. So a couple of experience, and because I don't care what anyone thinks about what I truly believe, I am comfortable saying you don't have to pay attention to me.
Yeah.
You don't have to do a particular thing. You can do it the way you want to. The good news for me is that what I offer people is something that I absolutely 100% know is needed and required by practically everybody. Because at a certain point, unless you're doing faceless AI-generated YouTube channels, there's going to be a certain point where you are going to be asked to speak. And when you are asked to speak, there isn't an editing guru in the world who can save your sorry ass then. And if you have to go out on a stage and present, same thing. You have to actually be able to be engaging and be interesting. Because my clients, and I have many who have just scratched the surface of my programs, and then they appear on their groups, and the people in their group start to reach out to them saying, how do you do that so well? And they come back to me on our next session and they say, they were talking to me as if I'm some kind of expert, and I'm just doing what you told me. And I say, own it, take it. Don't let them know you don't know what you're talking about, and be the authority, because they will appreciate that, because you're different and better than 99% of the people out there.
100%. And what part of that really comes down to confidence in who you are as a person and what you're offering? Is it really determined by your own belief in what you're doing?
Yes, it's your own belief. I mean, there's though there are certain aspects to some of the things that Simon Sinek, and I went to the same university, but he was younger than me, still is younger than me. And though there are some things that I don't always agree with, he does talk about why and starting with your why.
Mhm.
When you know your why, boy, that really helps a lot.
Yeah.
Confidence is not, there isn't a fake it till you make it that's worth anything, so understanding, what I truly believe in, which is when you know who you truly are, what you want to say and why you want to say it, no one will actually stop you. I know you've heard me say this before, even on those 1-hour sessions a long time ago. I believe that with all my soul. And over time, with practice, you will get better at actually delivering the things you believe in and care about.
Yeah. But I think that belief in yourself, the knowing yourself, the belief in yourself, plus being so sure of what you do and what you offer.
Yeah.
And that doesn't come, from just, I've met many people who have a 6-month life coaching certification and then they, jump out into the world to be a life coach.
Well,
But they haven't experienced enough of life themselves first. But it's also this idea of learning from a book doesn't really get you right?
yeah. So, yeah, when you are putting on airs about what you actually feel you're qualified to discuss, there is a difference, and there is a sort of transparent falseness, or at least a tangible element of that. My interest and what I've been working with people since 1987, what I've been teaching people for that time is how one can be one's transparently honest self and yet dig deep into something that extracts the unique special qualities in that person's sense of things. Everybody, we are all unique. No one can think like you. No one can see the world the way you see it. No one can explain things exactly the way you do. The issue, or at least one of many issues, because we're touching on some of the issues, through the course of this. The issue is that we throttle ourselves from the time we're young, based on some of our obstacles that we've set up for ourselves due to a combination of these 4 factors: mommy issues, daddy issues, peer group issues, and inner self-critic issues. That's it. And so we have limited ourselves for decades based on the stories and rules that we have determined will be in place for us forever. And learning to get out of your own way and say what you truly mean takes sort of breaking free of that. And people have to unlearn. You do have to unlearn. So that's part of the process.
Yeah, and I think what's really interesting, I realized something in the last year, that because of, all the learning, I love to learn personally. Like, it's my thing. And if there's something I need to learn for my clients, that kind of means I'm getting paid to learn, which is super cool to me. And I realized I had been learning in a space for about 2 years. And I joined a group of people who were also learning in that space. And hanging out with that group of people, I learned, oh, I know a lot in this space. It doesn't even matter the space. Space is irrelevant. But whatever the topic was, right? And so by being with people who were also learning in that space, my own confidence level on that topic rose tremendously because there was a give and take in that community of people that fueled more learning, and it gave me a place in my own thinking that, oh, I kind of know what I'm talking about, confidence level. And I want to be able to give that experience to more people. You're doing that in your community as well, right? So it's this idea that when you learn together, you actually start to realize what you know, but also it's that feedback loop that you talked about. That you're, oh, Sue, that doesn't make sense. Okay, let me retool that. And you're getting that real-time feedback from people, making you better at it in the long run.
So you're mentioning one of the levels of inclusionary communication, right? One of them is one's own internal knowledge, and the other is the relational understanding that comes from bouncing things off others and having rather than a master class, which I most of the time I host master classes of some kind or another. And in my membership platform, I do what I refer to as lightly curating our sessions. In order to make sure that it goes well. I'm the captain of the ship, so I man the deck and make sure that everything is in order as I see it. But the rest of it is something that one can glean from a mastermind, where something is where a bunch of people are equals or at least equal in the rules of that particular space. And that has a lot of value too, right? If you say something that you're playing with and you have an idea and then someone challenges you, then you can retool what you think, or you can just take a moment and question it and then make sure you come down on the side of what you truly believe, whether or not it needed to be amended or not. So there's that.
Yeah. I like that idea of it. And you do this so well, just when I've been in the room with you, rather than being this, stage talking at people, you're this guide that guides the people in the room to the interaction. And I think that's the definition of conscious leadership. And in my mind, that's what being a leader is, bringing out the best in the people that are in the room, whether it's 5 people or 500 people.
Yeah. I think there's a certain amount of, I don't know, humility, maybe. But as long as you're not trying to create something that has no room for, I don't know, space to improv and play with, and as long as you're allowing the thing to breathe, then you can actually step outside of the role of quote unquote master showman or puppet or whatever you want to call it. I see so many. Every now and again I'll click on some guru's webinar just to see what it's like, and they're all the same. There's so many of them are the same. They start with this long preamble of why they're so fantastic, and then they include all of the case studies of all the people that have it's and then they go into bare bones, just scratching the surface, not giving anyone any
Yeah.
depth, and it's all designed as a carrot on a stick to get to get the lowest common denominator people to buy some of their shit. And and I'd rather, I like to let people shine, give people case studies, ask people questions, and give them an opportunity. If people see you improving someone's life right there and then,
Yeah.
you know, that's okay.
That is more than okay. That is something I strive for on a daily basis. I really think this is the missing piece of so many presentations, that when someone comes to your presentations, they're not getting that preamble of how great Paul is.
Yeah,
right?
right.
They're not getting the, oh, I was on, what was the show you were on, David Letterman? Like, oh, I was on David Letterman and I did this and I did that. Blah, 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 blah. Like, nobody cares.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's cool, but you know what I mean? Like, and I think so many times people are taught to talk about themselves in that there's nothing wrong with bragging about yourself.
Well, there's
Telling stories.
so the great American storyteller from 100 and something years ago, Will Rogers, traveled around the country, and one of his fantastic expressions was, "I never met a man I didn't like," and what he meant by that was that if you talk to someone long enough, you will find things in common. But the other great one that I really love is, "If you done it, it ain't bragging." And so, it's perfectly fine. By the way, as an aside with that, one of the things that really, really gets me, that I think is just so full of shit, are all these posts where people say, "Celebrate with me. I just had a such and such." You say, "Screw you. Don't tell me to celebrate with you. Are you so damn needy?"
Yes.
I mean, wow. But the idea of, yes, I've been on Letterman. Yes, I performed in, I mean, everybody who's watching this comes from somewhere, and they are in some town somewhere on this particular planet. And chances are very good that I have performed on the national television show in your country. And I may have even performed my own stuff in the big theater, either in your town or in the big city near your town.
Mm-hmm.
That's not me puffing myself up. That's just the truth.
Right.
So, when you can say that, okay, fine. So what are your truths and what are the things that you're proud of? And you can say those, but don't go asking people to celebrate you, because it's not about you.
Right. Kind of like calling yourself a thought leader.
Yeah, or a thought leader. Yeah, I haven't heard that one in a while, but yeah, that's out there. And so let's even take just a few moments, because I know that ultimately this podcast will end, and in 15 minutes I have my next group coaching session. So we can actually talk for a few moments about some of the shit that people can do.
Yeah.
Right. And then I even I gave you 2 links to share, one of which is,
yes, I posted your pirate content.
So one of them, I believe in the pirate ethic. Okay, and this is a romanticized version of the pirate notion, because pirates actually had a rough life, but they chose things by design. They were very thoughtful about why become a pirate. Well, it was there were lots of reasons, but in order to do that, so I have this pirate mentality, and Yar, matey. So, Suze posted this thing, the pirate content framework, and it's literally, it's like a 20-page dossier of 4 different components in full detail, how you can get some of the shit that I actually start people off with.
Yeah.
And the second thing is join my membership platform. It ain't free. I don't give away, and even what you said a little while ago, Suze.
Yeah.
My training, my master classes, I don't give free master classes.
Yeah.
My stuff is unique every single time. Therefore, I charge. Correct. I don't have to charge a lot, but people have to pay a little bit to show up.
Yeah.
Because I'm not about to give away the stuff that I know I'm really good at and is going to fundamentally shift the way people think of what they are doing, how they support themselves in the world and online. So it does cost something. And that's because I value what I do, right?
Yeah.
But here we are in this podcast, and I want to have a moment for people, like how do you stop looking, sounding, feeling, tasting, smelling just like all the other miserable, mediocre, generic poot out there, right? Mm-hmm. How do you rise above that? Well, for starters, you want to embrace the things we were talking about since we began this conversation. Who are you? What do you believe in? Why do you believe it? Next thing is, and here's a very important thing. We didn't actually, we kind of danced around it, but instead of trying to tell people what you think they want to hear, tell them what you need them to hear.
I love that.
The stuff that you really, really care about. Tell them the things that you know they need to hear. I told you your video authenticity is boring. That's not to insult you. Mm-hmm. That's a wake-up call. Get it. Understand it. Yeah, Paul. Just authenticity for most people is boring. And my friend Eddie telling me to just show up and be authentic, he's boring too. Mm-hmm. And, and Maria says the same thing, and she's not boring, but she doesn't know how to show anybody or explain what it is that she does. She just came by it naturally, and that doesn't make her a teacher of it.
Correct.
So, I tell you things, and, you don't have to remain boring forever. You have to actually take honest stock of who you are and where you are, and then get better, right? So that's me saying shit that you need to hear. I don't care that you're boring. No one cares that you're boring. They will take note when they see you improve.
Oh, yes.
They will watch you get good.
Oh, yes.
So
I've been leading a group for 2.5 years. And at the very beginning, 2.5 years ago, I had just started a facilitation certification in conscious leadership.
I remember you telling me about this.
And minute 1 into like the 3rd meeting, somebody noticed the difference. Wow, I don't know what you did. They didn't know what was different, but they knew that session was a different conversation. It felt different. It felt more connected, more emotional, more in touch, more engaging, more, I'm definitely coming back again because this was awesome. I don't know what you did, but that was great.
Good. Nice.
Awesome.
Right.
And that's what you want people to feel.
Well, right. Exactly. And they won't volunteer that information, but they'll know it.
Yeah.
And in fact, your example just now was pointing to the notion that somebody, you provided material that allowed someone to convince themselves.
Mm-hmm.
If I tell you how great I am, or if I tell you, my mom loves my stuff, That's totally different than when I bring it big and ultimately you take a look and say, damn, that person's great. And damn, I really love that person's stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we pay attention to particular music. That's why we pay attention to particular actors or film directors or writers or poets or speakers. I mean, Tony Robbins, he's kind of famous, right? He didn't just do that.
Right.
He presents well because people taught him. Did he have certain capacity? Yes. Is his voice gravelly in a way that makes it very, very hard for me to pay attention, to want to pay attention for more than 2 minutes? Yes. But he learned delivery from someone who knows.
Yes.
And he actually had many coaches. So did all the other, most of those other big guns.
Mm-hmm.
They learned that delivery. And it had nothing to do with cookie cutter and formulaic. It had to do with coming into your own.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. So, I want to just touch on this idea. Like, most people do a selfie check. Most people are, here, I'm going to do my selfie check. There, I'm looking at myself now. But if you look into the camera, I'll in 3, 2, 1, and then you'll see that I'm actually looking at you. You see, if I go 3, 2, 1, boom, there we are. Hey,
oh, there he is.
Ooh,
love that.
Oohs.
Hi.
And so we look into the camera, look into the camera lens.
Yeah.
We'll do a selfie check. No one cares about your selfie check. And actually, I'm going to actually throw something else in there.
Okay.
Now, selfie check doubly bad. One is that it's a selfie check and you're not looking into the camera. And two is that when you are looking at yourself, you are actually focusing on all of the wrong things, which is how do you look? And if you are not looking at yourself and you're looking into the camera lens, then you're actually thinking about what you care about saying, and then you will be focusing on the stuff that needs to be said.
Can you say that again? Say that again.
When you are focusing on the camera lens instead of focusing on how you look in your selfie check, you will be paying attention to what you truly think about that needs to be said. And that is the stuff that people need to hear you say. So you are not allowing the selfie check to distract you by looking the wrong place and by thinking in the wrong way about the shit that you actually need to be delivering.
So good. So good. And I want to add one thing about connecting with other people virtually, in the land of Zoom and video. This is absolutely required if you want people to feel connected to you, your mission, and what you do, and ultimately pay you money. This is a must. So just so well said. Thank you.
Yeah, well, you're absolutely right. People will pay you when they get why you're there to serve them, to offer them something of tremendous value.
Yeah.
And people, the money will come. It's almost an inevitability. And the fact is that what I just said applies to being on a stage as well. You walk out on stage and you actually don't pay attention as much to, how you look, and you look at individuals and you simply relate things that you truly believe in. And then you will become an authority. So, my work, my membership program, the Art of Face Dancing, this thing that I've been doing for most of my life, my membership is called the Unscripted Authority Academy because I teach people to get away from the scripts, and that develops their own authority in what they say in the genre or the realm that people are paying attention to.
Yeah.
Right. So and it's the academy because I'm teaching it.
Yeah.
But this is about the business of the craft of presenting your passion plays of truth.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, perfect place to wrap up all of these golden nuggets of wisdom from you today. I appreciate that so much. I can't wait to check out your membership. I did not know about this membership, so I'm in. I'm loving this idea from you, and thank you so much for being such an incredible connection. And I love what you do, and I love the shit you say. And just thanks for being here today. Appreciate you.
Suze, it's a pleasure. And even from way back when we first were interacting, we've always had a wonderful desire to move within this particular mentality through the world. So, I mean, yar me.
When you know, you know. I love it. I love it. Thanks again. Everyone, give Paul a follow on LinkedIn and Facebook and check out his freebie. It's packed full of massive value. I only hang out with people who drop massive, massive value. So have a great day, everyone. Happy Friday, and we'll talk soon.
Suze, go get them.
Thank you for tuning in to another empowering episode of Unlock Your Way. I hope you found today's discussion inspiring and you're ready to take your business and personal growth to that next level. If you're feeling as fired up as I am and eager to unlock that full potential, I'm here to help you on your journey and provide that personalized guidance tailored to your unique goals and challenges. Simply book a one-on-one coaching call with me and we'll dive deep into your business aspirations and see how we could co-create a roadmap for your success. And whether you're striving to scale an enterprise or just getting started, I'm here to support you every step of the way. To schedule your coaching call, simply visit the website at unlockyourwaywithstk.com, click on the book a call button, and we'll turn your dreams into that reality. Subscribe and review on your favorite podcast platform and on YouTube. Plus, you can join over 800 entrepreneurs in the Idea Lab Facebook group. Let's make success as an entrepreneur happen together. Until next time, I'm STK. Keep dreaming big, stay focused, and most of all, have fun while you're doing it.